Yo, welcome to an episode of Table, Ladders, and Bumps. I am one of your co-hosts, Ringside P, and I'm here with Wade. We're going to do I guess we can say Raw review this time. I
Hmm.
might switch it up, Wade, because SmackDown was still fire. I can't
That
forget
is
about
true.
SmackDown. We can't talk about that. We can't not talk about it. So we're just going to call it an overall review. We got a 3 count. We got some tenfold theories. And then we also, instead of this week, no hate, no debate this week, but we will do the thing I want to call. We'll play around with it. It's a working title. People that have it but aren't it. So pretty much it's a idea of people that have all of the proper credentials to probably be a main event star or be pushed properly but aren't getting pushed for whatever reason that is. So we'll kick off this show and we're gonna do a review per se. We would say it like that. So you want to kick off, Wade?
Yeah. Do you want to start with SmackDown first, since canonically that's what happened first?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. I mean, those are the two best like SmackDown episodes back to back, maybe ever. That we just had. I'm I've been more of a fan of Raw like the past year and a half. I just
Mhm.
part of it's because I like Judgment Day a lot, but I just felt like without Roman Reigns, any episode that didn't have Roman Reigns kind of sucked on
Yeah,
SmackDown. And man, they didn't have Roman Reigns 2 weeks in a row, and fatality Paul Heyman, and and we were like joking. I know a lot of people said, "Oh, we didn't see. No one saw this coming." We were joking in our text thread that
yeah,
this was gonna happen for sure.
yeah.
So I don't know how other people did not see that coming, but it was way better than I expected. I didn't expect him to get power bombed through the table. Uh, they've 2 weeks in a row they've used like a kind of continuous storyline that is pretty riveting in my opinion, where
Hmm.
Jacob Fatu isn't at the at the venue in the beginning. You know he's going to show up, but you're also like feeling kind of uneasy, like what's going to happen when he shows up. Is he just going to like every time something was going on, I'm like, is he coming out now? Is he going to start beating? I thought he was going to beat up the baby faces when they showed up, like, and just be
Yeah,
behind them,
yeah.
and uh with like a car or something, and just like hit him or something crazy. So
No lie. And I feel like when I thought at some point he was gonna pull up in the SUV and he was smashed into Cody and them's SUV when it was leaving. That's what it was. Cause they kept following him as they was leaving, and I thought, oh, sure enough, Jacob Fatu's coming. He's just ran him into him, and they come out and just start beating him down. Just something wild like that. And like I say, I think surprisingly, people couldn't guess that Paul Heyman's gonna get attacked by Bloodline 2.0. I don't see how people didn't see that coming.
it's like the most
But
obvious thing.
yeah, like for me, it's surprising that he took that power bomb. You
Right,
know,
right.
I knew he was gonna get attacked at some point because that's the only way we assumed that Roman was gonna come back. Really, is that. But for him to take that power bomb, being the age that he is, he's in Paul Heyman shape. So like, and then like, dude, just the job he's just been putting on this whole entire time with the storyline. Like, as much as we say Solo doesn't have aura and can't carry on the microphone, like he hasn't really needed to a certain degree
Hmm.
because you have Paul Heyman like acting so well. Like I saw something where there were people saying that he's been depriving himself of sleep to really make himself look
Oh
like he's
yeah.
really been going through it. And I'm like, yo, he's really just taking this like it's a real like acting role. Like he's really just immersed himself into what's going on right now to really make this story believable. And like saying, yeah, man, 2 weeks in a row, like SmackDown has just been crazy. Like it's been lit. Chicago, then you get Madison Square Garden. And the only thing that made it trash in a sense, it's the fans. Well, you know what? I won't blame the fans. It's censorship.
Yeah, it's
Censorship.
Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, Fox made SmackDown be worse than it should have been, even though it still wasn't bad. But like, it took away from what was going on. Like, craziness is happening, mayhem is happening, and you guys are censoring because fans are swearing in a way. You know, you can't do anything about that. But there'll be a show that come on before that where a whole building's getting blown off, or some dude's getting shot because it's Law
Yeah.
and Order, some random like show beforehand. Like, dude, so you mean to tell me that you can't show some dude showing it, flicking up their middle finger way in the back? I'm not even paying attention to the guy. I'm so focused on what's going on in the ring. As long as there's not a titty popping out, man,
Yeah.
let it
It
go.
it's wild because like I understand, I guess muting it if they're saying like the F word. I don't even like it's a live show. Like I've heard
Yeah,
NBA players say the F word on NBA. Like it happens.
Carmelo all the time.
Uh yeah, it happens all the time. But I mean a middle like I think it was like a 10-year-old giving the middle finger. Like a little kid giving like a like because that was one of the times it blacked out, and then I think when Tyrese Halliburton came on, it was just like the whole crowd was
Yeah,
giving him the middle finger, which that's probably the best, one of the better we're bringing in like famous athletes
yeah,
but like I because Tyrese Halliburton's like a huge WWE fan, and yeah, I love both those players, so I was pretty hyped for that. And usually it's kind of like feels super weird, but it seemed like it kind
it's
of
like
like
it feels forced at times. You know, when they used to do it
yeah,
before, like they don't fit in. You know, yeah, I guess a lot of times when you have the people sitting ringside, whether it's UFC people or just random NFL people, and it's like they're just
yeah,
there,
because
just
they had the
there.
Philadelphia Eagles show up in
Yeah,
Philly to cheat for baby faces, which is weird.
yeah,
And then you had Patrick Mahomes help the heels, which is like
yeah,
in Kansas City, which in WWE's defense, everyone else in the world kind of hates Patrick Mahomes because he's so good. So like he
it
would
plays
be a
into it that
heel,
way. Yeah,
but like in Kansas City, he's not a heel. That's where it
yeah,
was. So yeah, it's usually the dynamic's strange, but this was like perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, I fell asleep during that match though. The LA Knight. Well, I don't know. I had a long week and I rewatched it. It was fine, but yeah, like would I rewatch it? But the rest of the episode was awesome, and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm super impressed. I don't even care about the actual wrestling matches. I just care about the like drama that's going on.
Yeah,
And Cody Rhodes gave one of the best promos I've heard in a bit too. Um, just talking trash before, like when they were in the ring and everything. I really like that
yeah.
promo too. So yeah, it's been impressive, and yeah, they've been going for it because Triple H is usually like pretty cautious with his booking and stuff, and sometimes it's too
Mm.
slow. But I feel like they kind of pulled the trigger on a lot of this stuff at the timing it to where you're gonna have CM Punk get like fatality in Chicago, and then the next week you have Paul Heyman in his like hometown get killed
Yeah.
too. Like that is you wrote this like perfectly to like see that through. So that's impressive. But yeah, I mean SmackDown was really good. I do you even care about the Money in the Bank uh matches? Like I didn't I mean,
Not
I was surprised LA Knight made it in. I thought it was gonna be Santos.
so I see the reason behind LA making it in, so Logan Paul can interfere and then you get Logan Paul versus LA
Yeah.
Knight at SummerSlam. You know, uh, so this it just stretches on their feud another month. You know, which is all right. I get it because I was surprised they was kind of like pushing it so soon. You know, I didn't think you needed to build up the LA Knight Logan Paul feud 2 months prior. You know, but it's cool anyway because I mean SummerSlam is going to be a big thing because of Cleveland. Logan Paul is from Cleveland originally, you know, so I get that. Um, I just hope the match is good. You know,
It's it's good every year, I feel like. They don't like WWE for some reason, like at their because I watch I mean AEW like as much as I watch WWE. And that's like the one thing that WWE does like of hardcore matches. They're like ladder matches, in my opinion, are like top tier. And I don't know why they're so good, because usually WWE is a little bit more safe, and ladders are like the least safe thing
Yeah,
that you can use. But yeah, I mean, the women's Money in the Bank last year was my favorite, one of my favorite ones ever. Like with you, when you have Io like handcuffing Bailey and Becky and climbing over
yeah,
Bailey and stuff. So they hit those moments really well. Um, but okay, I heard this theory regarding Money in the Bank, and I gotta ask you, it's because I know you don't watch What Culture at all. To
no,
those guys, so everyone in the men's Money in the Bank match has a basically someone who hates them and will has the potential to sabotage them, except for one person. So you have Andrade gave Santos Escobar the cold shoulder. You got LA Knight, who has all the stuff with, you mean Logan Paul. LA
hmm
Knight, or I just said that one. Then you have Jay Uso, who you can have Jimmy Uso or Bloodline
yeah,
mess him up. You got Chad Gable, who the Wyatts are for sure gonna mess him up. Um, who's the other person? I'm missing
Drew
one person.
McIntyre.
Drew well, CM Punk, he's showing up for sure. And then you're left with Carmelo Hayes, who like everyone could just get fatality, and then one of the Wilbur was like, yeah, I could see Carmelo Hayes just like looking at everyone's decimated around him and just like climb up. And the funny thing is, he's talked the most trash to everyone, but like no one like he's doesn't have an actual rival. Everyone just thinks he's a dickhead.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like I could totally see him win it. I've liked him on the main roster, so I wouldn't be pissed about it at all. But any of those guys could win it too. Like it could be probably Jey Uso, but I could see it be anyone.
hmm
I actually would like any of those guys, to be honest. Like I don't have a strong feeling like Jey Uso's at
feeling towards.
least, but I wouldn't like, and I wouldn't really like LA Knight that much. But if he used it for the if he used it for the US title, I'd be annoyed because he should just have a match for that. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah,
man, if I had to think about like, to me, the two people make the most sense to me. It's either Jey Uso or Chad Gable right now.
yeah,
Um, but that is to say that there's a possibility that Jey Uso could cash in and win, which I doubt that will happen because with Chad Gable and Jey Uso, both of them are on the cusp of being part of some bigger storyline, per se.
yeah.
So we could say that Chad Gable was tied up with the Wyatts. And the Wyatts could just kind of just haunt Chad Gable this whole entire time that he had the money in the bank. I think you had said about that before.
Just
You know,
spooky. Basically,
yeah,
like how everyone screwed over Priest, but you have like spooky people do it this whole time.
yeah. And I mean it could work in a sense, for him. And then the same thing with Jey Uso, like he could win, and then you could just have the bloodline just sitting back, waiting to interfere the whole time. Or the Wyatt Six could mess with Jey Uso too,
Yeah.
because I feel like they was trying to play it on that at Monday Night Raw, with him and Chad Gable going back and forth. Drew McIntyre, I felt like he should possibly win it just because there was been a lot of talk about he's one of the few guys that have two people cash on him, being cashed on it twice on him. And he
Yeah.
always said it was the coward way of winning the title. And CM Punk also said that as long as I'm alive, you're never gonna win a title. Him winning Money in the Bank would be so spontaneous that Punk wouldn't be able to come out and like interfere per se in a way. He had to keep Punk on his toes. So, but I still feel like Punk is gonna get his revenge back from SmackDown, and so now we either get Punk and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. So I think
Yeah.
I do feel like Punk would stop Drew from winning. I feel like we all know that that's coming. Punk and Drew at
Oh
SummerSlam
yeah.
or
Did,
like Bad Blood or whatever.
didn't WWE just post an old video of AJ Lee pushing someone off of a ladder when they're at the top of it? I think they just
Probably
reposted it today. What if she did it and it's not even Punk?
I mean, that would be dope.
Dude, I'd pop so hard if AJ Lee she doesn't show up at the Rumble, but is like, I'm gonna screw over Drew McIntyre too. I would he can't even do anything to her either. It'd be hilarious.
But
And would make Punk kind of look like a weenie having his wife do it too.
yeah,
So, but I'm pretty pumped for Money in the Bank. I cannot predict a lot of those matches.
yeah,
Like, or I all predict, but most of them I could see it go a lot of different ways, which is rare for a
good.
WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So, and then yeah, so did you want to go into Raw? I guess we went ham on SmackDown, but that was a goated episode.
No, yeah, we can get into Raw. I'm gonna forget what my Raw topic was. What I was gonna say.
I can go because I remember mine off
Yeah,
the
go
top of
ahead.
my head. So I was gonna say something to you, and I'm curious if you will agree or disagree.
Okay.
That triple threat might be the best match that WWE has had on TV this year.
The
Yeah.
men's one. Oh.
And
You know
it's
what?
up there for like just TV match in general, including AEW. I would have Takesha versus like
Osprey.
Austin, or no, that was a pay-per-view. Takesha versus Darby Allin. That one was like unreal, like TV match. He
Okay.
just fatalities Darby for like 20 minutes. But yeah, I mean, this is up there. This was yeah. So what did you think about it? Yeah.
No, like surprisingly, like so history has showed us that Drew McIntyre and Sheamus always put on quote unquote bangers. You know,
Right.
like I had loved they feud they had early on. Like it might have been doing like COVID or whatever. And they kept having, then after that, it kind of proceeded after they just kept like every week they had a match against each other. And then they had
Yeah.
like 4 in a row. And it was dope. And then you add Dragunov to the mix. And I'm
Dude.
like, no, in the beginning, like he was like, yo, I'm here. And they would put Drew McIntyre was pushing him aside, and then he just started like going off. Like he was hitting the H bombs on both of them, and he was just doing so like he's just a crazy individual, man.
Oh,
Like he's
dude.
just he just throws caution to the wind. He's so intense. And like I didn't want to be like, yo, I couldn't believe that he was able to keep up with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. But Sheamus and Drew McIntyre are similar in built and size to a certain degree. Dragunov is a much smaller person in comparison to them two in the ring, it looks like. So then,
Yeah.
like I said, to see what they're doing to him, how he's taking, he jumped off the top rope when coast to coast to like they call it a bro kick, but it looked like it was just a knee,
Oh,
to
yeah.
the gut or whatever, And I'm like, dude, like, why are you doing these things? And like, I could have honestly gone either way with the way that match was going. Like, I would have been satisfied either way with Sheamus, Dragunov, or Drew winning. That match. That's how good that match was. Like, it was rare. And then we get into it with the 3 count, but like, it's rare. Like, triple threats like that are that good on just regular TV. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude.
you just can always kind of tell like there's someone that stands out that's going to be the pick, the winner of the match. Like I say, honestly, I couldn't tell who could have won that match from the jump when it was going back and forth like that. It was good. It was real good. And it was a good way to be the last match of the night.
Oh, yeah. And they did the old, usually it's like you can kind of like know the exact structure of the match. Like someone gets thrown out, which they have to have it in a triple threat match. You can't just have all three. But like at times it's like all three of them are in there just going ham doing
Yeah,
finishers back and forth. And yeah, there was even a part where I started thinking because it was almost over, and I'm like, are they gonna have Dragunov actually win this? Like that would be insane. But yeah, when they're pushing him around and then he just like straight up kicks him, Drew in the face, like he's uh, he might be my favorite wrestler on the roster right now. Like I liked him before, but even in his losses, he's getting over. which is
Hmm.
very difficult to do because usually if someone loses, like their momentum just
Stops, yeah. Or
stops.
stifle, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but he's like the rare person that he's such a psychopath that, but like a babyface psychopath, which is not super common, that you just like
Yeah.
root for him. And yeah, at first when he was losing matches, I was getting frustrated because I want him to like win a belt, but he is like one of the rare people that you could have him lose a bunch in the beginning, but he puts on such good matches and he's close to winning that once
Yeah.
it clicks, it's still believable
Yeah.
that he's gonna be winning. But yeah, he's such a weird character. I I'm excited. I'm like really happy that the fans are getting into him because that was like
Mhm.
the crowd was whatever, but they were into that. I don't know how you couldn't be into that match. That match was
Yeah.
like insane.
And I even saw
So
people when he was coming out to the ring, they were doing
the thing,
yeah, doing it,
yeah,
So I'm like, all right, he got some following now, he got some backing, which is cool. So I mean that's dope. Like I just want to see, like you said, I don't want to see people come up to the main roster from NXT and to be duds. And not duds because they don't have the skill or whatever, but duds because WWE main roster don't have anything to do with them or don't know what to do with those people. Like I guess like Dijak. You know,
Dijak, yeah. You shouldn't have even brought him up if
yeah.
they didn't have him do anything. Like he wrestled a
So
speed match.
yeah. So like it's like with Dragunov, like I'm happy that he's in matches. I get to see more of him on the main roster, and even though he might lose, he still looks phenomenal in the match. Like the match with him and Braun Breaker, it was a great match. He lost, but it was still a great match. Like it still could have been a possibility where Dragunov won. But Braun Breaker's on this streak right now. He's on his roll, so he's in his Goldberg mode. So of course he's not going to lose anytime soon. Maybe Saturday. We don't know. We'll see. But
Yeah. That's another one I could see go either way, that
yeah,
match. Oh
yeah.
man, his spears are so nuts. But yeah, Dragunov, I think he's a complete wrestler because he
Hmm.
could I mean his selling's like unreal, but
Yeah,
he could you could put I mean all of Trick's good matches are against him. So
yeah.
yeah, like he's gonna make you look good at the detriment of his own health. Like he's just like some of the things like where he's because usually when you're jumping off the ropes, the people will kind of do the oh I'm jumping off, but like I'm setting you up for your move. He jumps
Yeah.
like he's trying a move, so it looks good, and he might get like kicked in the head because of it, just because he wants it to look more realistic. And I'm like, oh man, this sucks because you can't actually like take a real bump the right way, and you're probably gonna get cross kicked in the face like on your way down. He's just a psycho, man.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so pumped that the main roster or the crowd, and it's not like they built him up like Braun Breaker where like
Yeah.
he like the Haas and like it makes sense that you would cheer for him, but he's just like sheer force has made the
He,
crowd like him.
you know what it is? When I see him, he reminds me of Gunther. Um, and when I say that, it's more so like personality. Gunther don't really give me personality wise. He's very like monotone.
Mhm.
He's boring in a sense, but he's such he's so great in the ring that you have no choice but to respect what he does.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the same thing with Dragunov. Like I haven't really heard too many promos with Dragunov, but I can honestly respect what he does when he come out to the ring. Like I kind of not like what he does. That he puts on a great show. He doesn't put on duds. No matter who I've seen him in the ring with in the main roster, it hasn't been a dud on his end. Like he does everything to make the match look great. And
Yeah.
just like Gunther, they do well in the ring with telling the story of the ring of the match and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they had that was like the matches overall on Raw were like they were so diverse as a whole
Yeah,
because you have like just a straight up like one of the best banger matches like on TV this year, and then you have like soap opera with like Liv and Zelina, and then
yeah.
like Dom and his dad. Like it's just yeah, it's pretty. I liked Raw a lot. They've been killing it. Carlito's freaking hilarious too. So I was playing as you. But yeah, what do you have for your Raw review?
Um, I was gonna do Dakota Kai, but I'm gonna say that for our last thing because it
Okay.
goes well with that. Um, I'm gonna go with this Final Testament and New Day.
Okay.
At first, I wasn't on board with it, but the the more as weeks progress, like I'm starting to like it a little bit more. Totally surprised that there was one, but it fits, you know.
Yeah.
It helps the story. It gives Wood some confidence. And Kofi, you couldn't do it the week before. I was able to do it this week, you know, and it adds more layers into the dynamic of is it possible that the New Day could be split, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, but then also it's like, well, even in this New Day versus Final Testament, the New Day is outnumbered. Still, it's still 3-2, you know. So it's like there's no way the New Day could possibly win unless there's a third member that comes or someone else that comes and helps them, you
Yeah.
know. But as far as like storytelling wise, like, dude, I like how they're telling the story with this, you know. As a whole, it's been a while since the New Day I feel like have been in something that's been interesting for us, like story wise. And this is good. You know, like I don't know if they're gonna come out on top of this or whatever. I would like them to because I feel like they need a big win again. It's not just be enhancement talent, but I can't see the Final Testament losing either because I was surprised that they lost at Mania, being the new kind of like group and faction or whatever.
Yeah.
Granted, the match what it was, but going into the match, I didn't expect them. I didn't think they was gonna lose. It wasn't until I
I,
seen Bubba Ray Dudley, and they're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
once he like showed up, you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be a little bit dicey." Yeah, the I mean, the thing with Karrion Cross is basically he loses every single feud, but it leads to the person having a nervous breakdown after they beat Karrion Cross. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this change in you," and canonically, it happens every time. Like
yeah.
he had that feud with AJ Styles, and I think he said you're gonna lose like your honor or whatever, and then he turned heel. Like it's just been like continuous. And it's like maybe if you like won one of these feuds, it'd be like a little cooler. So I predict he's gonna lose the feud to the New Day, but the New Day will still break up. And like that's probably what'll
It
happen.
misses the conference, no matter what,
Yeah.
misses the conference.
He's like, I bet to lose to Xavier Woods every time because I think he's good. Yeah. No, I know a lot of people don't like it and people hate on Karrion Cross. I've liked him the past like I guess it's almost a month now. I think he's pretty
Mm-hmm.
funny. And just like such a goober too when he's like asking Woods to shake his hand after he just like almost killed Kofi. He's like doing the arm lock thing and Kofi saw the hell out of it. And Kofi's like crying on the ground. He's like, shake my hand now. It's just so stupid. He's I don't know. He's pretty funny. So I like this character. It's better than the spooky stuff he was doing
TikTok
before.
Doomsday guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like or like having in NXT having contracts light on fire and stuff, like some mythical way. So yeah, I like. I mean, I mean, basically, you're saying next video we're all gonna be wearing Final Testament shirts. I think is what you're telling me. But
Probably.
yeah, uh, just a shirt of Paul Ellering's face on it. Uh,
We can do the whole show in black and white.
yeah. He like even Paul Ellering is like cracking me up too. He's so weird. Like I don't even know what he's doing half the time. He's just yelling random stuff, and he was like holding like a like
I don't know if it was like a diploma or something like
that's
that.
what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, is that like a rolled up newspaper? What is that? Like, and he's like laughing at him, like, what is going on? Is he a newspaper delivery man in like the mornings? Like, what's going on here?
Why do you have white gloves on, sir? Like, what are we
He
doing
only
out
has
here?
one glove on, like Michael Jackson now too. So he used to have two. Now he only has one. So I don't know what. Just and I forget the authors of Pain are even in the group half the time, and then you just see him like running around yelling at
Maul
people.
somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then once in a while, yeah, they'll like basically kill someone, like almost in real life because they're like so big. So yeah, I'm cool with the feud. Not every feud has to be, you mean Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes. Like
Yeah.
you need some in a 3 hour show. You need some feuds that are like this that are like respectable and like kind of
It don't
entertaining.
have to be a
So
blockbuster. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. It don't have to be a blockbuster feud, but it can still be a solid storyline. And this is a solid storyline, you know. So
yeah,
there's a lot, like a lot to like get into with that. Like you say, like for the longest I've always felt like, man, when is Wood gonna get his shot? You know, like he got his shot, Kofi got his shot, Wood was king in the ring. I was like, all right, well, I guess this is like a consolation. And then he got crushed, and then it was like, all right,
yeah,
still. And so now even play into that now, just doing the storyline is great to see. So like I'm feeling the storyline.
yeah.
I like it.
I think he's better
Um
in ring than Kofi right now too. I think
I think so
Kofi's
too.
like Kofi's still. I mean, he's like one of the best. He'll be a Hall of Fame. Both of them will be Hall of Famers
Yeah.
realistically. But I just his Woods' in ring has been really impressive, and Woods has had a lot of really good matches. Some of Gunther's best matches are with
With Woods.
Woods.
Yeah.
Um, so
Woods
yeah.
always seems to me to put on a good show, a good showing. I think he's underrated in the ring
Oh,
to a
for
lot of people.
sure.
So it's good to see. Like I said, I want to see him get the proper tick that he deserves to get in the proper shine, in respect. Um, like I say, man, right now I just don't have a problem with the storyline. I like it. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of it.
I'm
Um,
surprised you
but
like it, to be honest. I thought you were gonna hate it. Because I like for a while I was like the only person. I was like texting like a month ago. I'm like, yo, Kieran Cross is kind of funny. So yeah.
but
But
man, people, what do you guys think about the New Day, Karen Cross, Final Testament storyline? You guys feeling it? Are you guys hating it? Let us know. Comment below. If I haven't told you guys already, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment the video. It helps us. It helps the channel. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get this thing massive. Like the Mrs. Balls. So
yeah.
we're trying to do, we're trying to do big things over here, man. So we just wrapped up our review of SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. We're gonna get to well, it's not 3 count. It's two of us, so a 2 count this time. Um, so I'll kick it off because I want to get into this new way they were doing Money in the Bank with all the triple threat
Mhm.
matches. Like to me, I feel like this is the first time I've seen that, and I was kind of like I had a problem with it before because I was like, man, like it felt like they were rushing the tournament to try to get the PLE up and going real quick, and then like I feel like I wanted more matches, man. Like I wanted to see more people, and I felt like it was this is a good opportunity for more talent to get on TV to have more matches, instead of trying to bunch everybody up together, um, and stuff like that. But then I noticed like, yo, it was a good thing because I noticed it last night in the match with the women's when it was Zoe Starks, Dakota Kai, and Ivy Now.
Mm.
And matches I've seen with Zoe Starks versus one other person might have been trash. Or in the same thing with Ivy Now might have been trash. It hadn't been too many trash matches I've seen with Dakota Kai. Usually any match
No,
I've
she's
seen with her are pretty good. So you eliminate a lot of that downtime where it's just like, yo, what's going on? Are the mistakes happening? Are there botches or whatever? So the three of them, I felt like there was time when the match slowed down, but it wasn't dead periods of the match. Because at
right.
some point, all three of them or someone was interacting with someone during that time, and so it kept a good flow during the match. So it was like, all right, I see why maybe now a triple threat match was needed in this particular instance. So I was cool with it. How have you been feeling about triple threat matches with Money in the Bank this time around?
Well, I don't. Yeah, we were gonna talk about this offline. I don't think they did these much last year. I think for like the final spot, they might have done triple threat. Um, but you get more people on TV with a triple threat unless you're doing a tournament, because otherwise it's just two like one person versus another for the spot. So I do like that we are seeing like an Ivy Nile who we probably wouldn't have seen at all.
Mhm.
Unless there's another way to do it that I just can't think of in my head. But I think it would have had to have been a tournament to get more people involved for the spots if you're and they just did King and Queen of the Ring, so that would have been
Yeah.
weird to do that back to back. If they did that next year, I wouldn't be against it though. If they split up maybe King of the Ring like 6 months of a difference
Hmm.
from this, I think that'd be kind of cool. Where basically you have like a quarterfinals, you win your quarterfinals match, you move to the semis, all those people move on, and then you have a consolation bracket where the like you mean the third and fourth place get to go into Money in the Bank too. That would be kind of
Hmm.
a cool thing to do. Or you do top three on for SmackDown and Raw and move on.
Yeah.
There's ways you could do with the tournament, but um yeah, I like the triple threat. I didn't like some of it is like a cop out to protect people.
Yeah.
Like you didn't want Jade losing, so you have a triple threat, so there's no DQ, and you have like people show up and you get involved, which it's like you could do that anyways in a non triple threat. Um, but yeah, you have Bianca and Jade involved because the women's roster on Raw or on SmackDown is basically all ballers except for Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Like literally everyone in there is
Yeah.
like a beast. So you kind of had to have them involved. So yeah, other than the booking decisions, I think for the most part it was pretty good. You just when you see and I actually like Candice LeRae, but if you see Candice and Indy in the match, you're like, okay, they're the ones who's probably getting pinned in
Yeah.
the match. Like you know that right away. And that's nothing against them. That's just how they're booked. So
Yeah.
that's my only thing with it. Like it made some of them like predictable, but I didn't think Mello was gonna make it in. And
Yeah.
yeah, like he made it in. That was pretty surprising. But yeah, you had almost the same finish 2 matches in a row, and so some of them were I like they're maybe have that on another episode or something instead of having the exact same finish like
Yeah.
2 matches in a row. But yeah, I like it. And overall the matches were good. And triple threats are hard. They're easy to mess up
Yeah.
because it's a way harder to communicate. And like it's just me from being in my like wrestling classes. If I'm one on one with someone, you're like you could whisper in their
Yeah.
ear and kind of like, "Hey, dude, what the hell are you doing?" Or like, "Slow down." Usually, they're telling me to slow down because I'm going too fast and look like an idiot. So, but yeah, you have someone like in your ear, kind of telling you when there's 3 people, you have to just hope you remember the spots,
Yeah.
or like, oh, is this person actually going to show up? So there's a lot that could go wrong, but yeah, we got more people on TV, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Okay. What'd you have for your recount?
Uh, yeah, I got the Forbidden Door. Um, that I know everyone's been hyping up the TNA NXT stuff.
Hmm.
And being like, oh, now the real Forbidden Door is open. Um, but I like overall it was pretty good pay per view. I liked it a lot. It had the same issue with AEW pay per views where they had too many damn matches.
This is what I'm about to
Like
say. With 13 matches?
there were 15, I think, including the pre-show. Dog, I was like needing an IV like halfway through the pay-per-view. Cause like one of the matches I had to actually I usually skip the pre-match, but they had like one of the matches was like kind of important. So I was like trying to watch stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then you like have a Jericho match in there that's like kind of unnecessary. or not kind of super unnecessary. But that wasn't even the worst match to me. So, uh, but Osprey versus Swerve was great. Um, I suggest like to you, Pierre, and like anyone watching, check out Stephanie Vaquer. She went against Mercedes Monet, and she
Mhm.
outshined Mercedes like
I
hardcore,
saw I saw I saw some clips.
dude. She has um. There's like three women that are like international wrestlers or like in the US or whatever that aren't signed to AEW or WWE. I think well, one of them I think secretly is, but like Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Megan Bain, all three of them have aura out the ass, and all three of them can wrestle circles around 90% of the people on either WWE or AEW's women's roster. They're just
Mm,
unreal, and I keep waiting. I'm like, yo, someone needs to pick these girls up because they are so good. Yeah, Stephanie Vaquer, you guys got to watch her matches. I've seen her wrestle in person twice now, and
okay.
it's like it's impressive. Like you see her and she's not like particularly tall or anything, but she just kicks ass. And all her moves are sick. She could kind of have like a slugging out match if she needs to, or she could do all this crazy lucha stuff, jumping from rope to rope and stuff. She's super versatile. So yeah. I mean she had CMLL belt, two CMLL belts, which is like
Okay.
Mexico's biggest league, and a New Japan belt at the same time, and that's not super common for people. So she is special. Swerve and Osprey. I was a bit iffy on Swerve since he won the belt, but that was like a super duper star making performance, I think, in that match.
Okay.
I'm 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 pumped for him. And yeah, the match that was most disappointing was like Naito versus Moxley. I like both of them, but it wasn't a particularly good match to
Good man.
me. But uh yeah, 10 matches on the main card is too much, man. Um oh, and Tony Storm versus Mina Shirakawa was really really good match as well. They Tony Storm, probably my favorite character right now in wrestling.
I saw
And
a little bit of her entrance. Came out of the Statue of Liberty.
oh yeah, that was great. I thought you were gonna say you saw her three-way kiss Mina
Oh, I
Shirakawa,
saw that
and
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm like that part. I'm like, oh wow, this is like three of the most attractive women, like all in different ways. I'm like, oh wow, this is intense, but yeah, yeah, no, I'm a huge fan, and yeah, Mina, I hope if she wants to stay in Japan, great, but she actually has pretty
Hmm.
good English and she is really funny, so I could see her come out to America. And she was like an English major in college and stuff, so I could
Okay.
see her make it out here for sure. So, but yeah, did you see any of the matches or like any of many highlights or anything?
I saw some highlights. So I haven't seen any highlights from Swerve and Osprey.
Okay,
I caught a glimpse of Mercedes and her
Stephanie,
match.
yeah.
Yeah, Stephanie match. And so I think I saw like Stephanie, she was doing like the springboard like arm drag and
Oh
she
yeah,
like a crossbody, So I'm like, man, who's this girl out here
yeah,
putting
dude.
these moves on? And I was like, but then I still saw like at the end result was Mercedes won, so he was double champ and stuff like that. So I just been seeing. I'm like, I gotta change my algorithm, my TL, my timeline of people because I always look to see it's like I see like hate. So I saw a lot of hate for Mercedes,
Yeah,
and
I
then
saw that too. Yeah,
overall just for hate just for AEW. So it's like, man, like why even bother even like watching or even just making a post about it? Like if you don't like it, then just don't watch it. Like I wouldn't watch something that I don't like to be tortured. Like why would I purposely torture myself by watching something that I don't care for just to hate? Well. If
Yeah.
he would just want to do, but if I catch him on highlights, I definitely would want to watch them more. Like Osprey's a good character to me. Swerve's a good character. MJF, great character. Like I like what Tony Storm is doing. Like I said, I'm not really into being able to watch AEW, but when I catch the highlights or just browsing through social media, like I like how into it she is with the character. Like I said, every time we talk about it, like I saw like they said she came from WB Studios 54 or something like that. That's where
Yeah.
her. I'm like, like you just so into the character. Like so, I like character build. Like I like kayfabe in a way. Like it's like Undertaker from Death Valley, or Mankind back in the day from being parts unknown. Like where's parts unknown? We don't know because the parts are unknown. Like that's
Yeah.
cool. You know. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to watch some clips or something like that when I get a chance.
Yeah, that honestly the Tony Storm Mariah May story, it might be one of the best stories this year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Period in wrestling, just because it's been done really well. There's drama throughout it. All of it like logically makes sense with their like connections and stuff. And when Mariah turns on Tony Storm, it is going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
But both all like everyone involved, and then you had Mina Shirakawa involved, which was Mariah's like best friend from Japan. So it was, and she's been involved since Stardom. Like I saw the Stardom thing in WrestleMania weekend. They've had Mina
Mm-hmm.
Shirakawa. So this is like that part of the story has been, what has it been, 3 months since WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So like they've had her involved leading up to this pay-per-view for 3 months. Uh so yeah, they've been doing a good
Building.
job with it. Yeah, and um yeah, I mean, and then you got Brian Danielson over there too. Like that's just, he doesn't have bad matches. So yeah, I'm excited. The next pay-per-view for them is All
Mm-hmm.
in Wembley, and I think that is going to kick ass. So yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, most like you're talking about the people who post a lot of them don't even watch the pay-per-view. They just like post about it or like see a clip and then like take it out of context or
Yeah.
something, and like it was a pretty good pay-per-view. There's things not to like, but that's the same for every company.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Definitely. If you guys caught Forbidden Door, let us know what you guys thought about that. How you guys enjoying the Money in the Bank qualifying matches so far? We got the PLE this weekend. You guys got, let us know comment below. We're gonna get into Wade's 10-4 theory. What you got, Wade, man?
All right.
What crazy is
More
you?
like a yarmulke, to be honest. But all right. My tinfoil theory. I think I might have texted you this, so your reaction might not be as good. But um I think Paul Heyman was taken off SmackDown so he could join the Wyatt Six. He is the sixth member of the Wyatt Six. They're gonna have him be the wise man, but look like Uncle Fester. So they're just gonna go all in. They already have someone like from the ring in there. They got like the bunny, like Donnie Darko. There's a lot of stuff there. They're missing Uncle Fester from the Adams family to really put it together. So that is my tinfoil theory. So you heard it here first. When you see Paul Heyman, he's gonna be completely shaved now. He's not gonna have the grizzled beard. He's gonna shave everything off the side. Everything. He's gonna be Uncle Fester.
We blowing stuff up in the back.
Yo.
So if you guys are ready to see the wise man as Uncle Fester, comment below. Let us know what you guys think, man. Uh,
Literally becoming the least wise man because that's like Uncle Fester's an idiot.
oh man. Oh, so we're gonna get into our last segment for the night. So we don't have our debate topic because we're missing our third man. So we're gonna do the thing that I want to call who's got it but aren't it. And so pretty much like I said earlier, this is about superstars or wrestlers that we feel have everything that it takes, but for some reason or one or another thing, they're not being pushed for some reason. So I want to nominate Dakota Kai. Um and I remember watching the match from Monday Night Raw in the Triple Threat match, and she did a move called the Coda Practice or something like that, where she
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like sick.
and she did that, and I'm like, man, like this girl, like she has moves, like maybe I might not particularly like her microphone skills, and maybe because they just haven't really gave her good promos to really cut. But in the ring, I don't really have negative things to say about her in-ring ability, and she's been someone for her injuries. Like, I mean, I know the injuries have played to her a lot, but when she's in the ring, she can go. And I think the whole entire time when she was injured with damage control, I was waiting for her to come back. When she had the brace, I'm like, oh man, she's ready. She's ready to
Yeah.
come back. I was hyped to see her back in action and whatnot. Um, and I remember seeing something maybe a week or two ago about saying how she wishes she can get that opportunity on a PLE to be able to wrestle for a championship like properly. Um, there's felt like there's been a lot of talent that gets put over her for some reason, and talent that isn't as good. I ain't gonna poop at nobody, but I feel like man, there's times where Dakota Kai could be in a position to be on the PLE in the main spot, and not just in a tag team match. And once again, this is where that mid card title needs to be in effect, like sooner than later, because you
Yeah.
got so much talent out there. This is not getting a proper tick, and I think that mid card title would help a lot of talent. How do you feel about what are some things about the color Kai that you like? What are some things you think that she could change to improve it, maybe to probably get that proper push that she deserves?
So well, I don't really know if there's anything for her to change. She does. I actually like her mic skills personally. Like, I mean, she had to be a mouthpiece, or she didn't have to be. They could have had Io Sky talk, um, like with damage control and stuff. Like, Io could speak English, or you could have her speak Japanese. Like,
Yeah.
but they kind of had her almost be a manager, which she's so much better than that, and she bumps like harder than like anyone else on the roster. Like, she sacrifices her body hardcore to make everyone look good. Um, I think maybe they're using this for like she might be turning babyface soon, is my
Hmm.
hope. Why she did this thing, and maybe it's a plan. If not, that sucks because she actually deserves it. I mean, she's got the moves. When she's out there, she has like a presence that is like unique. Like she plays a bad guy really well. And I think she plays a good guy really well. She like, which is rare. Usually it's one or the other. When she's a heel, she's a dick. Like, does a really good
Hmm.
job of being like a jerk and beating people up and stuff. And um her like facial expressions are really good with all of that, I think too. Like, just kind of being like an evil person or whatever. But and she has the best for me, like top five heel turn in WWE when she was in NXT. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Her and Tegan
Um
Knox, right?
yeah, like she did
Was
like
it was it War Games?
yeah, it was War Games where she just like that's like one of the
Yeah.
like freaking I like she might have actually hurt Tegan Knox in that. Like, that was like unreal. So yeah, I like her a lot, and she does have a decent following too. I don't know how much of it is just like thirsty dudes or not, but I think there's like, because she is like, I mean, really attractive. Like, I'm not gonna lie with that, but I think I don't know, like the rest of us fans who are like care about how good you are at wrestling and stuff. I think all of us are like, dude, she's sick and she has all
Yeah.
the tools. Like, I cannot honestly, I can't think of anything she needs to change. Anytime she's given an opportunity, she does really well. It's just yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other people on that roster that I think she's better than in like almost every particular way.
Hmm.
Like Zelina's fine, but you could have had her like a match. Well, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Liv in the ring fan, but like Dakota versus Liv, that could have been you could have had
Yeah.
that. And honestly, I thought that's what they were gonna do at one point. Is have Dakota kind of go against Liv for like
Hmm.
one of her title defenses and have Dom help Liv out and then Dom get beat up by all the girls in Damage Control. That would pop off, man. Like I think everyone would get into that, but maybe they're just using she's gonna get beat up by Julia whenever Julia comes over and then
Hmm.
turns face. I don't know, but
Because I was surprised Monday in the match that they had. So first Kyrie Sane comes out, and then the Unholy Union comes out
yeah.
and interferes. But then next week it's Damage Control versus Kaden and Katana and Lyra Valkyria. So it's like, why are we mixing so much with Damage Control? So it
Yeah.
didn't make sense. It didn't make sense because if you get Damage Control as heels and you got Unholy Union as heels, and it's like I don't know why they're attacking them right now.
They
Like
did
they could
attack
have.
Unholy Union like 2 weeks ago, I think. Um
Okay.
like Damage Control, like I get what you're saying because they're like, but it's kind of like Damage Control's been too big of dicks, and like it's kind of like coming back to bite them. Everyone except for EO, like no one really messes with her, but because Damage Control's like trying to assert their dominance, and they only have 3 people, they're kind of like
Yeah.
it's not quite as good when you had. I mean, Bailey and Asuka also in the group, and you could kind of just run roughshod where no one has 5 people. Really, you have to
Yeah.
do some
Yeah.
hodgepodge thing. But three, you could find 3 people to like mess you up back like pretty easily. So, yeah, I'm pretty positive last week they or the week before they attacked the Unholy Union, trying to like assert their dominance or because EO was mad. But I could have made that up
Well,
in my head too. So I don't really whatever they did, they didn't do it well enough that I remember very well. Or like
yeah. Yeah,
so
I do remember them attacking Lyra and then Kenny
yeah.
Katana coming out. I do remember that. And I think I remember them attacking her again in the back, Lyra
Yeah.
Valkyria. But they could have attacked them too. They could have just been attacking people. So maybe they are on track to kind of be dominant. And maybe we're just not seeing it for some reason.
Yeah, I think they're breaking him up is what this is.
Probably getting to, yeah.
Um because yeah, EO ain't winning Money in the Bank.
And then Io said damage control needs to change.
Yeah, I
So
think that means
what could be
Julia.
that change? Yeah. Okay.
You bring Julia in, that group is insane. Like I like Kyrie and I like Dakota, but you bring like basically like Asuka in her prime is like Julia.
Okay.
So like in Asuka's like 40 no offense to but you're like you cannot wrestle the same. Asuka wrestled way too hardcore for so long that you're like your body's kind of you got to kind of pick your spots at a certain point. And
Yeah.
Julia's like I mean Asuka, but like Asuka in her 20s. So and like Kyrie in her or and Io in her 20s where they could just do wild stuff. So uh, yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm curious what they do with Kyrie.
Hmm.
She's pretty submissive to Io, so you could just have her like turn on Dakota too. That's probably
Yeah.
realistically what's gonna happen. But I think Kyrie, I like Kyrie as a heel, but I think she's good
Maybe
as a
better as a
baby.
face.
She's better as a
Yeah.
face. She's very likable, I think. But I've been impressed with her as a heel because she does play the like funny heel like pretty
Yeah.
well, like joking around and stuff. So I've never seen her as a heel before, but yeah, Dakota needs a push. If she doesn't get a title shot through the rest of the year, they're fumbling the bag for sure. She might have to
I
go to
agree. I
Stardom or
agree.
something.
So I mean, so guys, people watching, how you guys feel about Dakota Kai? Is it time for King Kai, King Coda to get a push, proper push like she should be? You know, tag her, let her know, hey man, we support you. Let's push Coda to the top. Or you think she's a bum? Let us know either way. But we don't think she's a bum. We think
No,
she's a
yeah, she's
star.
awesome.
And she deserves her flowers like she's deserving she should get. But that's to wrap up this episode of Table Ladders and Bumps this week. Ringside P, Wade, where can they find you at?
Wade wrestling and comedy at on Instagram.
Cool. You can find me, Super Kid Pod on IG. Also TikTok, which I really don't post TikToks because I don't know, I think the government's shutting it down.
They are
Um,
probably.
also on YouTube, Super Kid Podcast. I'm out here looking for some black jobs. If you know any, let me know.
Uh
Yo, every week there's one black security guard that sits next to by the announce table,
yeah.
and every week he doesn't want to be there, and then the wire comes out and he's dead.
Well,
I, the wire just comes out and that's the one. Okay, I know I'm ending the show, but they need to change that. Why is Michael Cole or Corey Graves and Michael Cole the only two people alive at the wire just comes out, and the security guards are just laid over the announce table?
uh well, I can tell you why. They're making it realistic towards what happens in horror movies, which is the black person dies every time, and then the goober white person is somehow alive for some reason that doesn't make sense. You're like, why are these people alive? Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense, and that's what happens. And it's like, oh, the super jacked black guy that's actually smart gets killed. And yeah, that's what happened in the movie. He didn't follow the sound of the chainsaw, but he still got killed first. Like, I
So
think that's
yeah,
what
man.
maybe it's an accident, but it's a little weird. It's happened like 2 weeks in a row, I think, with
Yeah.
the black dude dying every time.
And he just laid out over the
Yeah.
announce table. And it's like, all right, well, what about the two announcers right here? Where were they at when these guys were getting killed? What did they do?
Uh, Dude, those are great questions that I think need to be asked, but I,
Where's Scooby Doo? Where's the mystery machine? So we can find out and get to the real killers of this case right here. We need to know. People,
maybe they're
crime
friends with
minds want
Paul
to know.
Heyman. Yeah, maybe they're friends with Paul Heyman, and he's a sixth member, so that's why they're safe. So, uh,
But yeah, until next time, guys, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, like I say, comment, give us feedback, all that good stuff. Check us out weekly. Check us out on YouTube. Check out our shorts. We're doing things, man. Until next time, adios.